I have two very dear friends reaching out to me today asking for input on their intense emotional experience in polyamorous relationships regarding jealousy. Jealousy triggers our amygdala in our brain and it makes us not think clearly. It makes us obsessive. And because we have evolved over hundreds of thousands of years in tribal communities where we depended on each other for survival, and intimacy is so closely linked with life, what happens when we feel this indication that we are getting kicked out of love, that love might be taken away from us, we literally go into a fear state as though it's a life or death situation. Because for so long, it used to be that if you got kicked out of the tribe, you would die. You could not survive on your own because that's how humans evolved. So, acknowledging that this experience of jealousy and fear is deeply, deeply built into our DNA, and that it's not something you can help. It's not something that um, that you can just turn on and off. Like if you could turn a key and make your jealousy go away, of course you would. Of course you would. It's not something that you feel enjoyment. It's not something that's bringing you pleasure right now. And I hear you and I feel you, and it is extremely uncomfortable. And for me, what happens is this cyclical. I'm gonna let the cat out. This cyclical thinking of this like hamster wheel of obsession, and um, time moves really slowly. I feel a rock in my stomach. I stop eating as much. I'm not even hungry. I don't sleep well. And I have probably between like 7 and 10 thoughts that just keep cycling through my mind. And um, that's what happens for me in jealousy. And I'm basically as like I'm convinced that I know what's going to happen, and it feels terrible, and I keep replaying that outcome in my mind, and it is miserable. So it totally sucks, and it's very common and perhaps unavoidable to lash out at the person is who you love so much, who you're afraid they're going to stop loving you. It's really tempting to lash out at them and say, "You're doing this to me. How dare you treat me like this?" Um, because we're afraid. And when we feel afraid, we feel the need to protect ourselves. That's natural. Fear is giving you the motivation to take action. Fear says, I'm not safe. I need to take action here. And when you can kind of be aware of everything that's happening on that neurological level, and then be mindful and conscious and choosing, instead of just reacting, reaching out to people who understand, who've gone through it, who know what it's like. Getting validation and empathy is very, very helpful. And also, it's an invitation to get to know yourself even better. Like, what is it that would make me feel better right now? What is it that I'm really needing? I'm needing to feel safe. Okay, how do I feel? What are the things that I can do that help me to feel safe? And it's like a question that you get to ask yourself, and you get to come up with this menu of options that you can do for yourself, that others can help you with, that you can ask your partner. But it may be tempting to say, well, what would make me feel safe is for my partner to stop fucking this other person, or what would make me feel safe is for my partner to stop. If the sentence starts like that, if it's about your partner stopping or starting something with other people, that is not the answer. It's tempting, but it's not going to be healthy in the long run, because what that does is it puts your power in the hands of someone else. You are the only thinker in your mind. You are the only feeler in your heart. Your partner loves you. And jealousy can turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy that says, my partner's not going to love me. They're going to leave me. And then I'm going to be unloved. And I'm unlovable. And I'm feeling what that's going to feel like now. And then I start acting unlovable. And I push my partner away. And I'm not as much fun to hang out with. And I'm doubting them. And I'm doubting our future. And I'm doubting how lovable I am. I don't feel special. And that is very much so a self-fulfilling prophecy. That is the worst part of jealousy, is that it actually makes you less attractive if it goes down that spiral pattern toward acting unlovable. That's a really hard pill to swallow, and it's true. You have the power within you to be lovable. You have the power to feel love. Love is something that is first felt here, and then we attach it to other people. And we feel loved we feel their love, but first it's here. It's in us first. What I need when I'm jealous is my partner to say to me, I'm so glad you're telling me how you're feeling. Please keep talking to me. It's okay that it's messy. Feeling your vulnerability makes me love you even more. Please keep telling me how you're feeling. Another thing that my partner can do to help me when I'm feeling jealous is by asking, is there anything that I can do that would remind you of how much I love you and how sad I would be if you weren't in my life anymore? If they can really express that to me, even just them asking me that helps me feel their true desire for me to feel loved and safe. Another thing that my partner, that I ask for, is for my partner to remind me of all the things that make me special and unique, and the things that help me feel, because that will help me feel secure, is hearing those things. Also, I think a prevention is cultivating love and joy and creativity in my time, and pursuing interests, whether that's learning something new or an experience. so that I'm showing up to the table with interesting things to share, with something to show for my time. It can be a little bit of, it's kind of this balance of like, how much do I distract myself with a good time or other people trying to fill this void? How much do I distract myself versus how much do I just lean into it? How much do I just allow myself to just be deep and heavy and fucking muddy, as I'm trudging through this ugly space. So you get to answer that honestly for yourself, with integrity. Like, do I need a break from talking about it and thinking about it? And do I need to seek out something that's light? Maybe I smoke a little weed and I go to a comedy show, or balancing that with how much do I lean into this and dig deep and journal and just allow myself to roll on the floor and cry and really feel it. So these are things that I think are really important. And if you're not feeling really heard by your partner, I think it's very helpful to say, baby, can you tell me what you're hearing from me? Because I really want to feel like you're really hearing me. Can you say it in your own words and reflect back to me what you're hearing from me? Because that's going to help me feel connected to you. It's going to help me feel heard. Okay, those are all of my tips for you.